What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eduardo, and I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What is up, Edward?
Oh,
Man, week 17 just ended, and it ended with a banger, man. It ended with a close game of the Falcons almost blowing another, 21-point lead, but they didn't. They held on to beat the Rams. It was a great Monday night, but a lot of things happened in week 17. Um, what's
all
your
started
takeaway?
on. I think it actually start. Week 17 started on Christmas, right?
Yeah, on Christmas Day.
Uh, we are we are one we are 1 week away from the final week of the regular season. Still can't figure out our favorite. That's my takeaway. Still
Yeah.
cannot figure out our favorite. We don't know. We
Hey,
really don't know how this is going.
but honestly, it's good though. It's finally we get a open NFC. We don't know who's favored to win that one. AFC, we don't know who's coming out of the AFC. We'll see what happens, man. But let's jump right into it. Obviously, I can see your background and your shirt.
I mean, another takeaway is that yes, as you can see from the background. I was able to obtain the leak script that's been kind of going on for a while. I know maybe I'm special, maybe, but I was able to find it. I was able to get my hands on the leak 2025 NFL regular season script. Who knows? I can find more things. Who knows? Maybe I can even find the Epstein files. But
Man.
as you can see, yep, the leak script and yep, week 18, game 272 of the NFL season. I realistically, I kind of knew this was going to be it. This is how it's going to happen, and of
So,
course, it
yeah.
has to be on Sunday Night Football.
What
We all saw this mile coming.
one thing you said that you saw it coming once the Ravens took care of the Packers. Um, obviously
You
they did
had
the
one. You had one job, Green Bay. You had one job, but no.
you know what? And I don't know I don't even know what happened in the beginning of the season because didn't the Ravens when Lamar got hurt or was it like they had what's his name the other
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush, was Tyler Huntley hurt or was he not on the roster? Because I feel like maybe if
I,
Tyler Huntley wasn't in the beginning of in those games instead of Cooper Rush, maybe the Ravens should have could have won a couple of games at that time.
to be honest, I don't even know. I don't even know what happened to Cooper Rush. I don't even know if he got hurt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, Tyler Huntley, every time he plays for the Ravens, plays well. He steps up. But this game was all Derrick Henry. Finally has got his carries, 36 carries, 216 yards, four touchdowns. He took over that game and gave Baltimore the win. That, like I said, it leads to a matchup for the AFC
I mean,
North
you could say,
up.
you could say take over, but obviously, I think John Harbaugh, he
You
just
knew the
gave
game plan.
Derrick Henry those
Yeah.
he just gave Derrick Henry those carries because he just felt sorry for I guess last week.
Yeah, and then
So
I mean, and
look,
then
we know it's late in the season. We know it's late in the season. We know guys got incentives in their contracts. I know maybe just want to
hey,
make sure.
but that's the game plan, though. That's why I think moving forward, like Derrick Henry, there's some when Lamar was there, he wasn't getting enough touches on the ball, but I feel like that's the game plan now. That's working for them, and I feel like that's what they need to do, especially in the game against Pittsburgh. I feel like Henry needs to get 36 carries in order
I
for the Ravens to
mean,
even have a chance to win that game, despite whoever's quarterback, whether it's Huntley or it's Lamar, which most likely is looking like it's Huntley. Honestly, I feel like Huntley should start this game against the Steelers because I think he's been playing better right now from the games
I
that we've
mean,
seen. And Lamar, we don't know what he's still injured.
you can say that, but I guess if you want my true feelings going into this game,
But we'll
like I
talk about
said,
it. I mean, we'll talk about it later. Let's just talk
yeah,
about the Green Bay game. Malik Willis balled out. 18, 21, 288 yards, one touchdown, and then he ran for two touchdowns.
Yeah, it was looking kind of. I think the Ravens. It was kind of looking out of their control in like the first half, and then Malik Willis he started doing. He started doing things. I think he's. I think this is his fourth start in the Packers
Yeah.
uniform.
He
So
he earned himself a contract, and I don't know what team. He earned himself a contract, and probably whatever team is looking for a quarterback, a starting quarterback. I think Malik Willis is that guy, whoever that team is. Maybe Pittsburgh. That's what I thought too. Pittsburgh,
I mean,
maybe.
we got. I mean, some little insight on Malik Willis. We did. Remember that he was in the same draft as Kenny Pickett, and I remember during that. I remember during that draft season, the Steelers were interested in Malik Willis. Eventually, we went with Kenny Pickett. We see how that went. Don't need to get into all that, but I mean, I remember he actually did during the draft evaluation. He did actually have a dinner with Mike Tomlin, so I'm sure Mike Tomlin might still have some connection or some or his contact information. Now, the only thing I think you can tell from like the way he played yesterday, yeah, he's gonna probably get a steady, good market contract, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how much Pittsburgh's willing to pay, and obviously there'll probably be other suitors when that time comes. But yeah, 18, 21, 288 yards, a touchdown, two on the ground. I knew running betters. I knew taking his rushing yards and him scoring in the paint would be a lock. But I think the thing he's a capable backup, but I don't know like where it went wrong for the Packers. Obviously, their defense with no Micah is obviously going to be compromised, and I know their secondary. I mean, their secondary is not really much to really rave about, but I think if you want to look at the Packers in the playoffs, I don't know that game kind of highlighted that there's still questions about the Packers even going into the postseason, even though they already have a playoff berth locked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know what it's going to look like for them going to the postseason because I'm trying to see if I can.
Because they were favorites. Well, obviously the Micah trade, everything happened. And then what was the first game that they played against the Lions, and they just blew them out. So everybody just had so much high expectations for the Packers.
Yeah, if the playoff standing stays the way as it currently said, they'll be facing the Packers in the wild card round.
Who will?
And I mean, the Packers will be playing the Bears in the wild card round,
Ooh.
and yeah, Green Bay. It's kind of fitting to have the seventh seed at the moment. That kind of did look like a very seventh seed team.
Yeah, it could be a one and done team in the playoffs. But we'll see with the Packers, man. We'll see with the Packers what they do, and then the Ravens. Um, no, let's jump right into it with your Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers went to Cleveland. I don't remember what the stat was. Was it like how long has it been since you guys won in Cleveland? The last
I
time you guys
don't have
won?
the stat, but I do know the last win we had in Cleveland. I remember the game. Big Ben hits a very rookie Pat Frymouth in for a touchdown. Yep, 20 has it at least being 2021. So yeah, that
All
was
four
the
years.
last one. That was the last one we had in Cleveland, and the King. And the only time we're going to win Cleveland is unless we have the King of Ohio in under center. But yeah, this game, honestly, from the way I was looking at it, even I wasn't hate watching on Saturday the Packers Ravens games, but any fo- the football gods, football fans, it was just a foregone conclusion that this was going to be our fate. And obviously, Browns, Steelers, AFC North ball, regardless of the circumstances, it's always going to stay like that. And you can clearly see the Steelers' game plan was to try to make sure Miles Garrett does not get the sack record.
Okay.
And I know
Let, let,
people online are they're kind
let,
of
let,
calling out the Steelers for that game plan, but
let's talk about that because you Okay, regardless, any team will plan against Miles Garrett because Miles Garrett is a beast, and obviously this is a rivalry, so you can kind of tell, you can kind of see, okay, you don't want Miles Garrett to break the record against a division opponent, um, and
We're not,
you can see
we
certain
refuse to
plays,
let him have those bragging
yeah,
rights.
but you can see Aaron Rodgers kind of gets rid of the football as quick. I mean, he normally gets rid of the football regardless, quick. But there's some ones that he doesn't hold on to it just to avoid the sack. And I feel like game plan they game plan fine against Miles Garrett, but it just I feel like DK not being there was the factor. And I think in this game, I think DK was missed.
It was pretty apparent that he his presence was missed, but I still think this offense could do something even even next week. But the thing, obviously, this is kind of the story of yesterday too. The defense, they were making plays and they were doing what they can. They got two interceptions off Shador Sanders, but like I said, it's the story of the Steelers. The
That
defense
that
will show up
yeah
one day, and then the offense just didn't show up. And there
yeah
were
that
opportunities for the offense to show up, but
For sure. That interception with Shador, that one, I don't know what he was doing. Um, it was just like a free ball at the Steelers defense because he just kind of just chuck it up in the air, and that
he
obviously
should have
that's a
just
rookie
went. He should have
mistake.
just went to. He should have just went for the sideline.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a lot of missed chances because um was it Herbert? He could have got the interception, could have been a pick six at that time. So
Hmm.
that could have been extra points there. And then Boswell missed a field goal and what an extra point or a field goal, right?
No, he missed a field goal, and
Field
to
goal.
be
So that was
honest, yep,
he,
I think that
he
was a
doesn't do
sign
good.
of like that was kind
He
of the
did,
sign of.
he doesn't do well there.
I mean, as you were watching the game, you can kind of see like how terrible that whole entire field was, and I
But
just knew
that
that was
pat
always gonna.
in the middle it has like that green little area. But in general, Boswell doesn't do well good doesn't do good well in Cleveland.
I
I,
mean, terrible. Look, it's just they're by the lake. It's terrible. It's terrible, crappy Ohio weather. Nobody wants to be there, and
yeah, man, man, Aaron threw a beautiful ball to MVS. It's just unfortunate that it didn't get to. It didn't catch that one. So I feel like that's certain plays. I feel like DK could have been there, especially on the last play too. I think that was a great ball by Aaron. It just I feel like if DK was the one there getting it,
I mean, the offense had their moments. Artie Smith, he called up some good formations, kind of like get to get Connor Hayward involved. And I know there was one play in particular where I see that he wasn't like. I think if you needed maybe like one more yard, we just do like that Pittsburgh push as opposed to what's considered the tush push. We run a very awkward version of the tush push. It's been effective, but sometimes it's just like sometimes Arthur Smith can call something great, and then that'll help us move the chains. And then I don't know what it's called, like paralysis by analysis, or just they're just sometimes like certain play call in a certain situation. I don't know why. I don't know why they went with that play as opposed to just getting a simple play just to put to the yard, move the chains. But honestly, I'm not even upset at this loss. It was just something I kind of saw. I kind of saw happening in terms of not having DK. Personally believe his suspension should have gotten reduced to one game because I'm sure DK kind of has a reputation for not really having any priors. He's a pretty upstanding guy in the league.
mm,
He he gets physical on the field when he has to, but he hasn't done anything that's like as far as I've even followed his career, even going back to Seattle. It's probably the first time he's done something that got him that he's actually had to pay a penalty. But Roger Goodell's trying to he wanted to set a message for always protecting the league as he always does, and he always has a habit of getting things wrong as opposed to being right. But NFL,
yeah, but this sets up for. a game which everybody wants to see now. I mean, week 18 kind of has some matchups where it kind of meaningless, but we get a treat with the having Sunday night football. I had a feeling that if
The
if
first
if
seven, I always have the schedule say the first 17 weeks. We already knew this was going to be the finale, but it was always TBD. And I'm pretty sure we were looking at that Sunday at the end of the Sunday night game. We were looking at the final release of
we knew, but we knew already.
we were
We knew
watching that
what.
like how kids used to look at the school closings for whenever there was snow and school got canceled. But as soon as it came up, I just knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, Sunday night at in Pittsburgh. And what do you think is going to be the game plan for you guys to win this game?
The game plan. Well, obviously, the team has been there. Have been there have been times where the team has contained Derrick Henry, and I know that's obviously going to be the number one priority. Make sure you get stops in the backfield, and also if you're going to try to stop Derrick Henry, you also have to minimize Patrick Ricard because obviously Derrick Henry can fill any gap. He can really fill any A gap, any B gap. But the one thing I want the Steelers to do, actually, kind of heard something earlier in the week that a certain pass rusher that wears number 90 will be
Yeah, he's
back.
coming. He's coming back. He knows this importance of this game. He's coming back.
So I'll say that elevates our chances, but I've seen I've seen in definitely years past TJ's made it a priority to stuff Derrick Henry in the backfield, but also if you want to set the edge, that's where he and Alex Highsmith also play a good role. Like I can kind of compare it to like pick and roll partners in the best in the NBA. He got Alex Highsmith helps offset what TJ does once they get on the edge and vice versa. So
Mhm.
they kind of know each other kind of like clockwork. And I feel like if you make Derrick Henry run in between, like it's obviously Derrick Henry's going to try to run in between the tackles or the way the Ravens run the ball. If they're going to try to set the edge, you have to neutralize Patrick Ricard. So somebody's going to keep an eye on Derrick Henry. And our first round pick, Derek Harmon, we got him out of Oregon because he had a very good high grade on stopping the run, and that was definitely the
Mhm.
priority. As you can tell from our last playoff game, stopping the run was stop, the run game was something that was definitely suffering. So,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Ravens, their game plan. I feel like they is just to run the ball with Derrick Henry. I feel like that's the only way for them to win.
I mean, you can say that too, but also I think we still have some relatively healthy guys on defense. So I can expect a very physical I expect a very, very physical game on defense, probably from both sides as well. Well, Steelers, because although the Ravens did win, there was still Malik Willis still took his advantage of that secondary.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens in that matchup. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so let's talk about the Bears versus the 49ers.
I told you this game had the potential to be good, but I wasn't. I knew it was going to be good, but I was expecting like a straight, like everybody just matching each other blow for
Back
blow
to
on
back.
offense.
Niners scored the no, was it? Yeah, the Niners scored, Bears scored. Niners scored, Bears scored. It was just a
First,
back and forth.
yeah, first play of the game, Brock Purdy throws a pick six, and you thought the Bears defense would make
That
a
was it.
statement. The Bears
Mhm.
defense would make a statement, but then the Niners just came back with another punch. How many
Yeah.
yards off they had? How many yards of offense did they put up?
Let me see. So total yards, the Niners put up 496 and the Bears put up 440 total
Yeah,
offense.
yeah, it was an electric game, and I think this has probably been like we're already in week 17. It's probably like maybe the fourth or fifth game of the year type of game. And yeah, Caleb Williams, he had a pretty impressive stat line. And like I said from last week, you can tell he's taking that jump from his rookie year to now actually looking like the guy in Chicago. And there were pretty. they're pretty down with their whole receiver core. Luther Burden stepped up. He had 8 catches and a touchdown.
On
And then
Doomsday wasn't there, right?
yeah, he's been dealing with a foot injury. I don't know. I really don't know if he'll be back for the playoffs. He might be.
Yeah.
It
Loveland.
just even sounds weird to even talk about the Bears being in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Colston Loveland. He's been really stepping up as a rookie, especially now. He has 6 catches, 94 yards, and he had his touchdown. Um, but yeah, I mean the Bears, they can go toe to toe against any team. And look, the Niners defense is not that great, so I think that's their one weakness moving forward in the playoffs. Offensively, they're playing one of the best offense right now. Brock Purdy's playing probably one of the best quarterbacks playing right now. Um, Going into the playoffs, it's just their defense. Obviously, they have a lot of injuries. Fred Warner
Cool.
may come back, but it's a long shot. I don't
I
know
mean,
if
they're
he's
not.
gonna.
Yeah, I know their offense is still their offense, and I know their defense is what it is, and that could probably be the only way to beat them. But there was kind of something I don't want to say alarming, but maybe just something to keep an eye on because during the game you kind of saw Christian McCaffrey's getting a little maintenance. You can tell
Yeah,
he's been like the
he.
workhorse for that offense, but you already know. I don't like bringing this up, but you already know how the Niners kind of have like the bad luck of getting of like injuries coming, especially during the playoffs. So
I
I
mean,
know I
it
know
could be.
I know
Yeah.
McCaffrey's a machine, but I know he finished the game too. But I feel like this that could be something just to, like keep an eye on, or just I don't want to say be worried about, but he kind of has been riding the ship for this offense because remember Brock Purdy missed about 4 games. So I
Hmm.
know they had to lean on him and George Kittle. He missed time too, and he didn't play in this game also. So,
Yeah, I mean,
like I
we'll see.
said,
I think
I
them
know.
winning the game against Seattle, getting the first in the division. I think they're going up for I mean, for the first in
Yeah,
the NFC. I feel like that
yeah.
would be very.
Seattle's still at the top of the division.
So them beating Seattle, I think would help them a lot, especially McCaffrey, and just resting up. And then they'll just have the playoffs. They'll be at home at the playoffs until the Super Bowl. Even if they make it to the Super Bowl, it'll be at home.
Yeah. Now, I know we talked about like Mike Vrabel being coach of the year and Ben Johnson, but now Kyle Shanahan's entered the chat too because, as you can see, he's been doing so much more with so less because like the whole offense is stepping up. They have a 12-win record. They've really been like they've
The
really
number,
been locked in,
yeah,
even even despite the whole saga with what the hell's going on, Brandon Ayuk.
that's what I'm saying. Without the true number one wide receiver Ayuk, which probably out of San Francisco next season. Yeah, man. But we'll see what happens in that game. But both teams they played amazing. It was a really good Sunday night game. But we'll see what happens in week 18, the final game of the season of the NFL. A lot of teams. I think the Raiders got locked up, the number one draft pick, right?
I think
Or
mathematically, yeah. I know yeah. So I don't have the order, but I know the season ended today. It'd be Raiders 1, Giants 2, Jets actually 3. Believe it or not. So yeah,
yeah,
it's been a crazy football season, but one thing has stayed consistent. The Metropolitan New York teams stink.
yeah. But man, until then, we'll be back with another episode. Peace.
Free DK till the end.